welcome back to Kweshunga, our space for fun, inspiration, and playfulness. We are so excited to host you this week. This month is hosting month, and our major focus is people, relationships with people, and how we connect with these people. And we are connecting with these people through hosting. Last week, for those of you who tuned into our episode, we talked about hosting in a home setting, in a home environment. And today we are taking ourselves away from the home environment, and we are hosting an exciting, phenomenal woman who hosts both young and old people in public spaces. But she has also had the privilege in this season to host us virtually. And I want us to take a sneak peek into that and journey there and have a feel of what that feels like, looks like, and what it takes to host people in that arena. Welcome with me, Esther Kalenzi.
Thank you.
Welcome to Kweshunga.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for hosting
Thank you for
me.
coming. Thank you for giving us your time and joining this playfulness
You're very
over this
welcome.
time.
It's my pleasure.
So for the people that don't know you, please tell us who you are and what you do and how you do what you do.
Wow, where do I start? Do you know the question, who are you? Yeah, it sounds so simple, but it's extremely complex.
Yes, it is packed.
My name is Esther Kalenzi. I am the founder and team leader at 40 Days Over 40 Smiles Foundation. It's a non-profit organization which is youth-led for now, until I cross over to post-youth. And we work with vulnerable children, mainly to support them to improve their literacy and comprehension so that their learning outcomes, whether it is for school or non-school work, are better. And these are mainly children in slum areas. Right now we are working in an area called Chikuba Mutwe, which is in Makindye Division. And we do a lot of people-centered events like we were speaking about earlier, because we want to encourage young people to be able to give back to the society. So it's very important for us to nurture even these children to become those adults, because it has to start at a young age. So right now we have a toolkit which encompasses all this. We start with self-awareness, and then we also teach them resourcefulness, and finally how to be a change agent.
Where were you when I was a child? I
here
needed
now.
some self-awareness.
I'm here now, yeah. So we want them to understand that despite their background, they can do whatever they dream of doing. But in the event that they don't have, you know, as many resources, even 4040 started with just a little and then did a lot with a little, and we continue to do that. So we want basically for them to learn that they can do a lot more despite their background, despite their family status. They can be more and do more. Yeah.
Interesting. I wouldn't even think about working with children because one, it requires lots of grace, it requires lots of patience, it requires lots of courage, and yet you do that. But you don't only bring together children, you also bring together adults, because I've been a part of some of your events, fun events that bring out playfulness in adults, in children, in all ages. And so I just wanted you to share a bit of how you do that. How do you bring people together for community transformation? How do you do that?
So it kind of happened accidentally, I would say, because when 4040 started, it was just about me bringing my friends together, and then my friends brought their friends, who then brought other friends, and then the community just continued to grow. And then we thought, at that time we were what, 23, 24? What do people that age like to do? To question. So how about we get together and raise money by having some fun? And I remember our very first fundraiser was a football event at Nakasero Primary School. It has a football pitch, and it had about maybe 30, 40 people. We were serving soda and crisps and like selling them at a profit of like 500 shillings, just because we wanted to raise some money which would then go back to supporting these children. And for us, even 30 people was success.
It was big,
people have come to support you. They don't owe you anything, and they have not asked for much. But then as time grew, we started to make it even bigger. So we've since hosted basketball events, rugby events, music, music and poetry. And so we realized that this was an easy way to bring people together because they're
Yes.
having fun, so they
Yes.
won't feel the 3,000 shillings, the 5,000 shillings, the 10,000 shillings that they give, and yet that money collectively is
Will
going
do
to
something
do
big.
so much more.
Yes.
And then when we started to like apply for grants and proposals and to go to companies and pitch, you know, support CSR, you know, support this organization, and we weren't successful,
Yes.
it was again natural for us to go back to the
the people,
beginning, to the
yes.
people who have supported us for this long and say, let's just see how to maybe raise more money and bring more people, but while doing the same thing, because it's very important for us to involve people, because at the end of the day we can't keep saying, oh, the leadership needs to change, or
Yes.
the way
Yes.
things are done has to change, if we don't start with ourselves. So our hope is that all these 40 people in Kampala, in Barara, in Nairobi and beyond will be able to replicate this in a small way in their
Yes.
communities, but also these children, the teenagers, the interns who come through our surroundings will be inspired to do more, whether it's at home, at church, at school, at work, wherever they go, to kind of make a small, whatever impact they can, even if it's just one person,
Yes.
if they're inspired by what we do.
I like that. I really do, because I love the fact that you integrate fun in all the seriousness. I've attended quizzes where we are scratching our heads and thinking through what the
And then
answers
dissing
are,
each
but
other
there's
along the
music,
way,
there's dissing each other, people are making all sorts of comments, and it's really cool. How different is hosting children from hosting adults? Because you've hosted both, you've had a bit of both, and
Yeah.
and like I said, I don't have the patience to host children, and you have. So
Yeah.
what's the difference? What's there?
If a child messes up a play area, I'll be like, you know what, their little brain told them
to
to
do
do
that.
this, yeah? But then if I see an adult who's like doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do, I'm just like, did your little brain tell you to do that? So I think for me, I find hosting children easier because they sort of, okay, yes, they'll get unruly at some point or whatever, but then you know what they like. If there is music, if there are games, if there is popcorn, if there's just activity
Bouncing
yes, bouncing castles, you get them face painting. Oh my God, we've gone to schools with a face painter and literally there's almost a stampede, you know? So the only thing is that they want to have a good time, you know? They're really coming together because they want to have fun. Well, when it comes to adults, we all have different tastes and preferences. Maybe, okay, not all children like soda, but most children like soda. When you're working with adults, some want wine, some want whiskey, some want, you know, soda. If you've brought pork, I don't take pork. How about the chicken? If you brought, where's a vegan option? You know? And then, despite the fact that it's maybe a small budget something, people will still expect things that, you know, are out of this world, yeah, which we are not able to offer.
Kids, we want sweets. There's
Exactly.
sweets,
There's sweets. You
there's
can
soda.
literally have 100,000 shillings and they'll have a blast and thank you for years to come, which they do. Whereas for adults, when after you've spent your 50 million, people will still say, but did you hear how the MC was pronouncing that word? How do I have control over that? You know, there are so many variables when it comes to adults, but I think at the end of the day, it's just about, did you have these people in mind when you were curating the kind of event that you are putting together?
So Esther, what? Because you said this happened accidentally, the 40-40 thing, but hosting has been a part of something that you have grown up doing or you love to do. What elements of hosting do you enjoy the most?
Wow, the most. Can I choose more than one thing? I think for starters, I'm naturally a planner. I like to put things together. I like to bring people together. So for me, it's not work.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I'm thinking, what does Penny like? And then I start to think,
You're
where am I
working
going to
backwards.
get it?
Yes.
And how do I bring it to her? And that for me is extremely fulfilling. I like to see people happy. I like to bring people together. And I was just having this conversation with a friend, I think like 2 days ago. If you are my friend Penny, and then I introduce you to my friends, and then they become closer to you,
Yes.
it's a point of joy for me. I'm not
Yes.
jealous that
Yes.
now I have to share
But
Penny.
you know, some people say you're stealing my friends.
Exactly. What do you mean still a human being, you know? Someone has made a decision. Maybe you have interests that I don't have, you know? Maybe you have things that bring you together that I cannot bring to the table.
Yeah.
So for me, bringing people together and seeing them even have like friendships that blossom even
Yes.
more is really exciting for me. So I love to plan. I love to bring people together, and just at the end of the day to just sit in a corner and look at everyone. They're having fun, they're eating, they're having a good time. Whether they don't come back to say thank you, whether they don't tell me they had the fun, but for me I
Yes.
saw them laughing and dancing. For me that's very fulfilling. And for these events that we put together for 4040, for me it's always that moment where all the activity is happening, and I just steal a moment to just stand somewhere and look
And
around.
watch,
And
yeah.
there's quiz, people are
Yeah.
excited. I can see my team, you know,
Yes,
working to
everyone
make
is
things
doing something,
work,
yeah.
and I'm just so fulfilled.
Interesting. I hear that you're a very process person, and I love process. I'm a planner too. And one of the things, so I organized this event at church, and first I convinced everyone I would pull it off.
So you had to pull it off.
including the lead pastor. It's a thing that people were not,
Particularly used
they were
to.
not excited so much about it, but I convinced him we can do this. This is how we can do it. I had a plan. We're going to call this person. We're going to fly them in. We're going to do this. It's going to be a bang.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, do it. We go ahead with the planning, and about 3-4 days before the event, the gentleman can't come. He can't fly in.
Wow. You've advertised, you've told everyone.
We've
this is
advertised,
happening.
we've told everyone this is happening. We've cancelled certain things that were supposed to happen then.
Just because of this one
And
person.
because I was trusted and given this mandate to bring this person, it didn't work out and that crushed me.
Yeah,
It crushed me because I planned
First of all, you
to
answerable
that
to so many
exactly,
people. It's
and
not just you.
it's not just a thing of put out a statement and say,
Oh, we are sorry, guys.
this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
No, I was so sad. I was so sad. It took me so much time to heal from that. So how do you heal? How do you forgive yourself? How do you heal from disappointments with events? Because hosting people comes with disappointments.
Yeah.
One, I get disappointed when people confirm last minute. I hate last minute planning, totally.
Are you me?
And then, like you knew, how are you planning now?
yes.
Yeah, so last minute planning, last minute cancellations, and then all these lack of timekeeping. We said we are having lunch at 1.
Penny.
Now we are waiting for you at 3. Yeah, like what's wrong with you?
I'm getting goosebumps just out of right now. I totally understand.
So how do you deal with that? Yeah, because sometimes I feel like it's my fault,
Yeah.
and yet it never really is.
And you know, sometimes it's even nature, because you've been
Yeah.
talking about that event where you had planned and then someone. Now, for us, sometimes even just God Himself
Yeah.
decides, let me show you what I can do. So, like 2 years ago, we had a rugby event. We call it Bantwala Sevens.
Yes.
And it was at Legends. We were already competing. It was in September. September is Nyege Nyege month. Yeah.
You're already competing with big events.
They have given us a date. We've looked at it and seen this is a weekend of Nyege Nyege. You can't change because they have a calendar and
Yes.
lots more is happening during that time. So we are like, okay, we have this competition, but some people are going to be in Kampala.
Yes.
Let us appeal to those people. Yes, yes. D-Day comes, we've set up everything. Now 3 p.m., 2, 3, 4 p.m. is when people usually start to come. The rain was like, okay.
Let me show you.
You have jokes. You made plans for 3, eh? Okay. It started to rain. The rain was so terrible. Tents started to fall. Like tents fell apart.
Sometimes they literally fly because
And-
of the wind.
Yes,
and
and then the entire pitch flooded. People have paid their 10K. The ones who are on their way, you know, Kampala, 2 raindrops, and you're just like, I'm not leaving
I'm
now.
not coming. Yeah.
Sorry, can't make it. You know, whether they drive, whether there's Uber, whether they could sit on the bike. Sorry, I'm done. So I just stood there and looked at this apocalypse right before my eyes. But you're the host.
Yeah.
You're supposed to smile and just look so graceful and just be like, yeah, this stuff happens. So I did exactly that. Went, started to check on people, but
Inside there's turmoil.
I was so broken. I was so crushed.
Oh dear.
And then someone actually came and tapped me and said, oh my God, Esther, you're so strong. How you can stay like, if it was me, I would have fallen apart. That man made me fall apart. You know, I was everything, you know, just that little pop. I just said, excuse me, went to the bathroom
And just
cried.
let it all out. Yeah.
I wept.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was literally struggling to breathe.
Yeah.
Then when I was done, I was like, am I going to stop the rain?
Yeah.
No. am I going to carry the people who are supposed to come and they've changed their minds? No. How about we make the best of this?
Yes.
So I came out a new, you know, Estephias. Yeah, it was no longer Esther. Came back, said hi to people, whatever. Now that day was supposed to have Cindy
Yes.
and Ziggy D perform. Then I think Cindy called to say that, have you seen the rain? I'm just like, so
yeah, we are in the rain.
do you still want me to come? Thankfully, it was going to cost us a lot of money and we hadn't paid her yet. And already I could see that we were not making money from this event.
Yes.
And someone who's asking you at arrival time if they should come.
Yeah.
I said, it's
you
okay.
don't have to.
Ziggy came and put on the show of a lifetime. There's a picture where I'm dancing like I've been paid, you know, video vixen. And now each time I look at that picture, I'm happy. Like it's no longer a sad memory of everything that. But we did not even make money from that event to the extent that I think someone sent money. I don't know what it was for. And I was just like, this is the event money. Let us at least not go away without anything. So for me, and I think it's something that you can relate to when you're a perfectionist, when you want things to go a certain way, when you've put your entire heart into planning, it's very difficult to then sit and say, oh, it wasn't my fault, it was nature. The guy who cancelled, you know, it was, you know. But I think especially the people around us, because each time this happens, and I'm telling you, I've done this for 8 years, but it will still feel like the first time.
Yes.
The person who cancel, the few people who come, the ones who say they will and then don't, the people who say they will do the work and they don't. And I'm just like, why am I still heartbroken when I have experienced this
over and over again?
Over and over again. So it's important indeed to forgive yourself, but also to know, really, you're not God. There's only so much that you can control, and whatever time it takes. Because for me, usually after an event like that, I'll take like 2-3 days off where I'm just, sometimes even just lying down. So if we've had an event on Saturday and someone on Sunday says,
like,
can we do? I'm just like,
taking a break.
I don't even know what is a phone, you know? Like I don't even want to look at a phone. I don't want to be around people. You take the break, you recharge, and then you come back and say, how are we going to do this differently? And you start again.
Wow, I don't think I can get over things going wrong at an event, because one of the things about hosting that I have learned over the years is that it's not just about me, it's about the people. And I pour my whole self into the planning and into getting everything right to make the person feel good about themselves, to make them feel relevant, to make them feel prepared for. Because I don't like walking into a space and I wasn't expected. I want to walk into Esther's space and feel like, wow, we were expecting you. We care about you. We love you. We want you to be here. We knew you were coming. And yeah, sometimes people underestimate what goes on behind the scenes. They see a glossy event, they see a nice video, they see a nice virtual event, and half the time they are thinking, no, these guys got this. They can do it in their sleep. Yes. But yeah, it's important that people understand that there are pains there. And sometimes also, one of the things that I heard from you that I actually want to ask you about is how we deal with leading teams when we host, because there's a there's a whole dynamic there. There's a whole dynamic there. And whereas everybody is expecting you to hold it together, like that man who tapped you and you just lost it, sometimes even with your team, you feel like, I just need a moment to not have it together. Today I don't want to have it all together. And yet I still want to be able to lead you, show you a bit of the weakness, but also lead you well, to know that I can take you to the desired goal. So how has it been working with your team? I know you have a phenomenal team. Even when you're not around, they will deliver. But just share with us a little bit of how it is to work with teams to deliver events.
So I think that one of the most difficult things is that we all have different temperaments.
True.
You know? There are some people who, the moment you just raise your voice just a little,
they're off.
There's nothing they're going to hear after that, you know? Then there are others who, I'm sorry, they are perfect. They will never make a mistake. So why are you telling me that I did something wrong? Can't you see that I know everything, you know? And then there are
then there are the
others,
excuse people.
Yes, the ones who something is always
There's
coming.
always an
Why
excuse.
always you? Why always you? Traffic, rain, and how come for us we are not affected by all those things that we live in the same city? And then, but put that aside, there are these amazing people who have come ready to work. You know, they're on time. They have the gadgets. They have the spirit, the passion, and now they have to work with these other set of people. They're human beings. You know, they're going to get to a point where they're just like, why? You know, why
I'm
am I
pulling my weight. Why am I?
These people are not, and at the end of the day. But I think one of the things that's most important is for the team that you're working with to feel like this is their thing as well, you know? For it to stop being, I'm doing it for whoever, or I'm doing it, whether it's a bigger cause, whether, start with yourself, you know? So when they know that this is my thing, if something goes wrong, it's my pain. If something goes great, this is our success.
It's our thing,
So I think for me, and there's something that you raised, sometimes we are afraid to be vulnerable. We want to show everything is working out. There are times when things would be completely, no one has confirmed everything, and then when someone asks me, I'm just like, yeah, it's going well.
We're going to do it.
Then unfortunately, some people also, I don't know if the word is misuse or abuse, but like you then show them your vulnerability and
they take advantage of it.
So you're just like, what do I do? Because even when you say, oh, things are not working out, and I'm just like, Penny, but you always get things done. What are you saying?
What are you saying? What do you mean you don't have this together?
It's not consoling at all, you know?
I know.
I want someone to tell me, you know, what's missing, so how can I help you? And I think that's important because I have now gathered a group of people who are just like that. Sometimes they'll even sense it before, you know? And then there are things which affect us differently. Maybe for you, it's the decor that is your main thing. You know, so you know when the setup is terrible, everything is going to fall apart. And then for me, it's the people. When I come into a place and I find only 10 people, I'm like,
what is this? We advertised, we called people.
So knowing that, and according to different individuals, then you manage their expectations. So I know Penny is going to walk in, I'm like, Penny, they didn't bring the things in time. So by the time you come, you know, I've managed your expectations, you're anticipating this so that it's not that crazy. So I think working together as a team then shows you who does what, who's better at what. So I'm not assigning you to things which you're not good at. You're not also sending me to things which are electrical. I know nothing about that, and you're just like, set up the lights. You're going to find the lights not set up, but also being honest about what can I do and what can't I do. So that for me, especially now virtually, it was really hard. So when lockdown started, I was just like, you're talking to people you can't see.
How do we manage?
Then they're online, but they're not. But how can I confirm that it's because they're busy, or it's because they're ignoring me, or it's because they're anxious and depressed by all that's happening in the world? So the first few months were extremely difficult because we had just we had 2 events set up for March, and we had paid for them fully. As I speak, both those service providers have refused to do refunds till now.
Oh dear.
You know, that's money that could be doing a lot
other
for
things.
the organization, but we don't have that. So now I say, okay, so let's plan an online event, but how?
Because we already spent that budget.
The money is gone. Are people going to come? Are they so busy with all the webinars that they want to learn things and not have fun? Or are they so anxious that they don't want to waste time coming to these events? And so it involved, you know, doing some research, talking to a few people who might know better than us. And they came up with ideas. And that's how 4040 Night Online was born. And even then, we didn't know if it would be a success. But then we had to tell ourselves, you know, it doesn't matter if it's 10 people who are happy to be there. Who for those 2 hours?
They're our loyal people. They are there. They have chosen us.
There's this banter. They are happy. You know, they're telling you how to improve. And even for them, they're forgotten. You know, I have a sick child at home. I have a relative who is stuck outside the country and can't come home. But for these 2 hours, we are just having fun and enjoying ourselves. So then we decided to create for those 10 people. Because at first it was, oh, we want 500. Oh, what if we raise money? Oh, what if we don't? But when we killed all that pressure, pressure and just said the people who come are going to have a blast no matter what, then it became easy.
Wow, and I love that. I love that you created for the people who are present. Because one of the things I've struggled with, and I still struggle with, because I'm a physical touch person. I want to be touched. I want to feel. I want to make people feel like they are loved by touching them, by being in their presence, checking, are you fine? Are you well? Are you sure? Looking in their eyes. That's how I relate. And so this whole lockdown and COVID season has been difficult because our physical events could not happen. And so how do you deal with a woman dealing with abuse and not touch them and not console and not hug them and not tell them I'm here? Because
Literally,
just saying I am here, just saying it doesn't mean so much. So I like that. I like the creating for those who are present, because there are also people who connect like that. There are people who would rather a phone call is good, a text message is good. I don't want you to come physically.
Please,
I'm
fine. Stay where you are.
Yes.
Good,
So I really like that. And I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us, your 40/40 story. I want to challenge the people who are watching us. When was the last time you played? When was the last time you created anything for the people around you? When was the last time you let your hair down? When was the last time you just said, I'm stopping and I'm going to have some fun in all the things that I do? Whether it's digging, we are going to dig with some music and have fun. Whether it's online dating, we are going to have fun. Whether it's online dancing, we are going to have fun. Like, just find a moment and have fun in every space that you're in. Have fun in everything that you do. Have fun in your work. Simplify your work. Simplify those deadlines. Simplify those reports, those analytics, those everything that you're working on, by having some playfulness involved in your work. Thank you so much, Esther, for joining us this week. Our dose of Kweshunga is done for this week, and we look forward to hosting you again next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like our channels and follow and retweet and tweet and share your stories of Kweshunga with us. We are looking forward to hearing from you. Please share. We will share them on our platforms. We love you. Have a Kweshunga filled week.